This suit taught me a crucial lesson about the relationship between color and fabric texture. Green is inherently casual as a color, but I chose a very smooth worsted twill fabric, which is inherently formal. The result was a clash. Too formal for casual wear because of the smooth fabric, but too unconventional for serious business because of the color. Today I want to guide you through my own story how I acquired 10 plus suits so far. You will learn how each one of them taught me something different about style and about what I actually need versus what I thought I needed. This is episode 4 of the Thoughtful Style podcast. And today I want to take you through my entire suit wardrobe, to share the real journey of building a wardrobe through trial and error, mistakes and discoveries, so that you can learn 1 or 2 things from my mistakes. By the end of this episode, you'll understand how my approach evolved from conservative, then to bold, and then lastly to versatile. And why I think the conventional wisdom about when to wear suits might be completely wrong. Let me start with where this journey began. And it wasn't pretty. And I assume many of you started the same way as most of us do. During my university days, I owned some suits, but they were made from polyester. Each cost roughly 500 euros, which seemed like a lot of money for a garment for my wallet at the time. But the unfortunate thing is that I barely wore them. I thought I needed them for interviews and important situations where you typically wear a suit. But I couldn't justify the purchase based on how little I actually used them. Those polyester suits taught me the first lesson about building a wardrobe. If you are not excited to wear something, you probably shouldn't own it. At the end, I threw them away. It was a complete waste, to be honest. When I finally decided to upgrade my wardrobe completely, I faced my first major choice. Should I go made to measure or bespoke? Living in Japan, I had access to both options. I chose made to measure for a specific reason. I wanted to experiment. And as you will get to know later, I was completely right on that account. Going not for bespoke turned out to be a good choice. There were so many construction details I wanted to try, so many questions I had about fit and style. Bespoke felt too expensive for what was essentially an education process. Made to measure allowed me to configure suits according to my preferences while I was still discovering what those preferences were. I could choose button configurations, single or double-breasted, different fabric textures from British, Italian and Japanese mills. The questions multiplied after my perhaps 5 first suits. What I didn't realize then was that some of my best decisions and biggest mistakes were still ahead of me. For my first 2 suits, I wanted to go very conservative. I commissioned them at the same time. A mid-grey sharkskin single-breasted suit and a light grey tropical wool suit. The first suit was exactly what you'd expect from someone playing it safe. Mid-grey sharkskin from the Italian mill Toligno. Single-breasted, single pleats, no cuffs. Classic, formal, appropriate for most business situations. I even chose it specifically so I could wear it with a roll neck sweater for slightly less formal occasions. But here's where my inexperience showed. I didn't specify lapel width to the tailor, just trusted their judgment. The result was fine. Actually quite good for my slim face. But it taught me I needed to be more specific about details if I wanted to achieve a particular look. And then we have the vent confusion. This is where I made one of those supposedly beginner mistakes that actually reveals how little most of us know about menswear conventions when we commission our first suit. I specifically requested a single vent because I remembered my cheap H&M jacket had a double vent, and I assumed the double vent was the cheap option. Later on, when I learned that the double vent is considered the classic vent for suits, I thought I was completely wrong with my single vent decision. Among sartorial enthusiasts, the double vent is typically preferred. It's more expensive to construct and creates that sleek hourglass silhouette. But here's what I've thought since. The single vent isn't actually inferior, despite what common menswear wisdom suggests. Here's the logic that changed my perspective. Compare a well-tailored, high-quality suit with a single vent versus a fast-fashion, low-quality suit with double vents. There's the stereotype that cheap suits have single vents, but these big fashion companies have been producing polyester suit jackets with double vents for years now. The single vent has its own elegant historical purpose. It was designed for horseback riding, allowing the coat to fall properly when seated on a horse. The double vent was better for when carrying a sword. It allowed access without restricting the coat's drape. But here's the reality. Nowadays, who rides horses? Who carries swords? When you see the beautiful tailcoat of a symphony conductor, it has a single vent and looks undeniably elegant. Perfect fabric drape, construction details and overall fit indicate quality tailoring, not the vent configuration. Don't get fooled by menswear rules that sound authoritative but fall apart when you look at what's actually available across different price points. My second suit was light grey with barely visible blue and grey stripes in a very lightweight tropical wool, also from Tolenio. Same configuration as my mid-grey suit because I was still figuring out what I liked. It's the most classical configuration. And up to this date, I would always go for it again if I had to rebuild my wardrobe. This suit taught me about climate realities. I wanted this to be my summer suit. After all, it's a lightweight tropical wool. It works beautifully in spring and autumn, and it would be excellent for European summers. But in Japan, where I live, in Japanese humidity with 38 Celsius and 70% humidity, sadly no summer suit is ever truly appropriate. That was my introduction to the limitations of even the best fabrics against certain climates. But it also taught me about versatility. I love wearing this suit with polo shirts and casual shirts when I'm out in the city on warmer days. It was my first glimpse of how suits could work outside traditional formal contexts. I love to wear the suit in casual contexts, and it showed me that a suit doesn't always need to be very formal. Having covered my basic grey suits, I decided to get adventurous, because who doesn't want to get adventurous at some point? Maybe it was a bit too early though, as you will learn. My next two suits were a tan Solaro and a pistachio green, both single-breasted. For my third suit, I chose what turned out to be a Solaro fabric in tan or camel from Fratelli Italia di Delfino. I didn't even know what Solaro was at that time. I just liked how it looked. Talk about intuitive decisions. This was also when I discovered cuffs and single pleats, a combination I have used for every trouser since. Sometimes you stumble onto what works for you completely by accident. I also commissioned my first waistcoat, double-breasted with 4 buttons. That Solaro suit became one of my most worn casual suits, usually without a waistcoat, often without a tie, paired with casual shirts. My fourth suit was pistachio green from Malane, another Italian mill, because I was gravitating toward Italian fabrics intuitively. This suit taught me a crucial lesson about the relationship between color and fabric texture. Green is inherently casual as a color, but I chose a very smooth worsted twill fabric, which is inherently formal. The result was a clash. Too formal for casual wear because of the smooth fabric, but too unconventional for serious business because of the color. With a waistcoat and tie, it looks formal but playful. Perfect for demonstrating sartorial capability, but limited in practical applications. Would I wear it to business meetings? No. Would I wear it when I want to enjoy sartorial style expression? Absolutely. Would I commission such a suit again at this point? Probably not. My style was starting to mature toward more practical choices. After 2 unconventional suits, I wanted to return to classics, but with a twist. My first double-breasted suit. My 5th suit was a charcoal pinstripe double-breasted fresco from Vitale Barberi's Canonico. Classic 6-on-2 with a single-breasted waistcoat. After commissioning it, I regretted not trying double-breasted earlier. It immediately became clear how powerful, elegant and wearable it was. Before, I hesitated, too bold, too formal, not for my lifestyle. But I was wrong. That first suit convinced me. Today, 5 of my 11 suits are double-breasted, and I plan to raise that to 60, perhaps 70%. Once you experience how it changes your presence, you might reach for it more than your single-breasted suits. My 6th suit was a light grayish-brown single-breasted pinstripe from Loro Piana. The cloth shifts between grey, brown and beige depending on the light, which makes it incredibly versatile. It pairs with nearly all my shirts and ties. Easy to style, but distinctive enough to show sartorial awareness. Not right for every occasion, but perfect whenever you have some room for expression. By this stage, I was obsessed with versatility. Instead of commissioning 1 suit at a time, I ordered 3 at once. Not a strategy I'd recommend, since you only discover what works through wearing. Still, I couldn't resist these fabrics. The mid-grey gabardine double-breasted. A classic grey but in double-breasted construction. Elegant, simple and designed with trousers that could work as separates. The textured gabardine mixed them perfect with a navy blazer. Smart, formal and endlessly useful. The charcoal gabardine single-breasted. My most versatility-focused suit. The textured weave makes it slightly less formal than smooth worsted, but still business appropriate. The jacket works well as a separate, and I love wearing it with chambray shirts or even dark jeans. It's sharp, effortless and adaptable to almost any occasion. The heavy flannel double-breasted. A 460 gram Tolenio flannel double-breasted with a waistcoat and pleated cuffed trousers. Substantial enough for real winter wear, and every piece can be worn separately. This is the extreme version of versatility, formal enough but casual enough to mix into modern wardrobes. These 3 commissions marked a major shift in my priorities, from just aiming for a 2-piece suit or 3-piece suit to maximizing utility. Textured gabardine and flannel might sacrifice a little sleekness, but in today's casual world, versatility is the smarter play. And those who understand the subtleties will appreciate it. My final 2 suits represent my current philosophy, taken to its logical conclusion. The complete commitment to versatility over pure formality. Then we have my last suit commission for now. My first sports jacket I had commissioned was a light grey or off-white linen wool blend jacket, and I loved how that fabric worked. So for my 10th suit, I wanted a double-breasted suit with the same fabric. And this time, no waistcoat, with trousers that are, as always, single-pleated with cuffs. I don't know the mill of this fabric, as it was a suggested fabric from the house. It might be a Japanese fabric, I think. Here again, my versatility approach took center stage. I can wear the 2 pieces separately, the double-breasted jacket and the wool linen trousers. That's especially perfect for spring, some summer days here in Japan, and autumn. The linen content makes it breathable, while the wool gives it structure and prevents it from wrinkling too much. My 11th and so far last suit is a grayish-brown double-breasted suit made from a wool linen blend from the same fabric bunch as the off-white linen wool suit. Here again, I can wear these 2 pieces as a full suit or separately. You can see what I was going for with my last 5 suits. Maximum flexibility and wearability. Both of these suits represent this complete shift in my thinking. Early on, I was focused on having the right suit for the right occasion. Now I'm focused on having pieces that create multiple outfit possibilities across different seasons and formality levels. Would I say this is my last suit for now? Perhaps yes. Suits are special garments that look sharp in the right context and can be genuinely cool and stylish even worn casually. But what I want to pursue more in the future is sport coats and blazers. They're more versatile than full suits and always look appropriate in my experience. Different fabrics allow for more creative styling and give you more style freedom. That's the natural evolution of this journey, from conservative suits to bold experiments to maximum versatility. And now toward even more flexible separates. Looking back at these 11 suits, what did this journey teach me? First, you can't learn about your preferences without trying things. Each suit answered some questions but raised new ones. That pistachio suit was a mistake, but it taught me about the relationship between color and fabric texture. If you're building your own wardrobe, don't repeat my mistakes. Start slower, focus on pieces you will actually wear, and prioritize versatility. Then I often commissioned multiple suits at once because I was fascinated and impatient. I wouldn't recommend this approach if you're building a wardrobe strategically. You only discover what works by wearing pieces in real life. My approach evolved from conservative appropriateness to bold experimentation to systematic versatility. The last 5 suits all reflect this priority. Each piece should work in multiple contexts. So you might find your approach too if you pursue this path. And while this episode was all about my suits, in the next one I want to go through my sports jacket wardrobe and explain why I believe sport coats, not suits, will dominate my wardrobe going forward. They are more versatile and more wearable for today's world, so stay tuned. Thanks for listening and see you in the next video.